Our research unit was created 100 years ago in May 1912, just 5 months after New Mexico was granted statehood. And it was really established within the U.S. Department of Agriculture at that time because of really well-known fact of widespread degradation of the West, especially in the Southwest.
The first research that was done here was really about how we manage livestock on these landscapes to maintain and sustain them.
The issues were associated with people living on the land trying to produce food and fiber. We've always been about land and land health and what are the principles that you try to utilize to manage land. Today, the clients that we work with are much broader. The kinds of things we want from these landscapes today are not only food and fiber, but it's clean air, it's clean water, it's biodiversity, it's recreational opportunities, it's kind of environmental stewardship issues.
So 3 areas that we're focusing on right now are monitoring and assessment, tools and technologies, remediation or restoration of these landscapes as the Jornada has for years now, and then finally, of course, livestock and continuing to work on how livestock interact with these landscapes and how they can be managed more sustainably. We're now focusing particularly on desert-adapted breeds, the criollo, that do seem to be better adapted to this environment. There are a number of specific projects out on the Jornada right now that are of particular interest given the issues that are facing society today. One is obviously drought. Drought's a big issue right now. It's one that we're trying to address. What's going to happen if the frequency of droughts increases, if the intensity increases? And we've got a number of experiments that are specifically designed to do that. Another issue, of course, is wind erosion. And dust in Las Cruces is always an issue. And we're very concerned about that. We know that most of the dust that's generated locally is actually not from the rangelands outside of town, but those rangelands can generate dust if they're not managed properly.
How well are our plants preventing wind erosion on a day like today, or water erosion when we have those intense monsoon events? We want those plants to slow down overland water flow and prevent that water from flowing off of our site.
The third area that is of interest, of course, is how do we manage rare and endangered species? How do we manage our lands so that these species do not become endangered and thereby become a challenge for landowners to deal with? A fourth area of research that a lot of people have taken an interest in is the unmanned aerial systems. So these are the very small, not as large as the drones that the military is using, but some of these smaller unmanned aerial systems that can be used to help monitor lands that we don't necessarily have access to, or that we need to get to quickly and we can't get there on foot or on vehicles, or we need relatively large areas to be surveyed. One of the great things about working on the Jornada is the incredible diversity of research that's going on there and the incredible number of researchers. We have hundreds of people coming in from all over the world, throughout the United States as well as a number of other countries. These are scientists that have a broad range of expertise in biodiversity, in livestock management, in wind erosion, in water erosion, in looking at the soil.
About half the world's land surface looks like the lands here around Las Cruces. You find lands like this on every continent. And so now our research and our clients and our interests expand not only the western United States, but take us to other parts of North America, work in South America, Asia, Africa. It's a much broader set of environments and issues, but still has similar roots to what we were pursuing 100 years ago.
By providing essentially this very large experimental area with a lot of different types of environments on that, and a lot of very good long-term data that people can use as a foundation for the research, we've essentially created one of the premier rangeland research centers in the world, in the sense that we've got the knowledge, we've got the long-term data, and we've got tremendous human resources, both located here, a great staff to work with, as well as people coming in from the rest of the world.